What I find disturbing is how the food banks lineups are getting larger and larger.
I think there's a stigma about people that use a food bank.
I look forward to the day that food banks are no longer needed.
We can't afford food, and you are being paid $22 million. So where is the disconnect here?
Food is not a privilege, it's a right.
As we travel across Ontario, we're hearing from you that the cost of food is top of mind. From the rising cost of groceries to the shrinkflation of everyday products, we're speaking to Ontarians about how you're coping and where solutions may lie.
Have you seen food prices increase?
Oh, definitely. Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
I have a 2.5-year-old and that she loves fruit, and I have to stop buying it now because it's so expensive.
I have to think twice when I have to buy some meat, chicken, especially beef.
It's hard now, yeah, so we need to be thrifty now and be wise on spending.
I make a set amount, and so if food prices continue to rise, it's not like my pay is gonna go up.
Carol Kennedy is nearly 70 years old and lives in affordable housing in Cambridge with her cat, Junior. Like many living on fixed income in Ontario, making ends meet is constantly top of mind. For Carol, the Cambridge Food Bank is a lifeline. Hi, Carol.
Hi.
It's
It must be
Nam.
Nam. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me in your home.
Yeah, come on in.
So, how long have you lived here?
I think it's 5 years, so it'll be 6 years this August. It's not easy living on a fixed income, and especially if you're just on your pension or on Ontario Works or Ontario Disability Support Program. Like, none of them are truly sufficient. They keep you under the poverty line. But I don't want to be self-pitying myself either at the same time. I think I have a good home. I have my garden. I'm able to still keep my car and pay my insurance and everything. So I am fortunate that way.
When we talk about food inflation and the cost of food, any change at all means what to you?
Less. Yeah, because I don't buy meat the same as I did before because it's so expensive. Like even hot dogs, you pay $6 for a package now, you know, and not that they're my favorite food, but they used to be something that was cheap, you know. When you get a box of Kraft Dinner, you need to have not only the Kraft Dinner, you need the milk, you need the margarine, right? And we often have milk from the food bank, but it's very rare that you get margarine. It's hard to afford.
Can you take me back to the first time you used a food bank and how that felt?
It was hard. Yeah. It was really embarrassing for me. I had to take my pride and put it in my back pocket and walk in and smile and say hi, and you know, like, this is my first time here, you know, what do you need? And I knew they needed your name and I wasn't sure what else they needed. They were nice, yeah, and they walked me through it. So this is my kitchen. This is my pantry here. I was telling you about the cans.
Right.
There's my cans.
Wow, that's a lot of cans. It's very organized, first of all. Lots of noodles, lots of pastas,
Yes.
beans,
Lots of
corn.
soups.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's beans. I got a couple of gravies in there.
Or maybe that's what you like.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
but that's something that's always there. Yeah.
You said you're going to the food bank today. What are you going to be picking up?
They usually have milk. I'll get some milk, probably some bread. I'll probably get some more cans. And they often have meat choices, so I don't know what they have, so I'm not sure what I would get there.
Hello.
Hi.
Can I help you?
Yeah.
I can
There you
take
go.
that.
Thank you.
Okay. So you're looking for anything specific? This one?
The box one.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Can help you with this. And you can take 3 from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take these.
Okay.
And I'll
I
take
can
another
take
corn.
that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Our goal here is always that people leave here feeling better than when they walked in.
How long have you worked here?
I have worked here 22 years.
Wow.
I was someone who grew up in a very food insecure home, and I just wanted to come here and make a difference.
22 years is a long time, but I think it puts you in a position to see how things have changed. What have you seen when it comes to food insecurity here in the last 22 years?
Well, a lot has changed. Definitely the increase in need is not great. We're seeing really an explosion of need right now. There is a pretty significant growth in people who are employed, and I noted last year that people who own homes using the food bank, the majority of people that we see, all of their income is going towards their housing, and that leaves them very little to provide food for their families. So they're relying on us more than more. It used to be that they would rely on us a few times a year when it was, you know, maybe Christmas time when bills were high, but we're seeing more and more people that are relying on us regularly. Lots of people who are working gig type jobs.
What about children?
Yeah, we've had an explosion of children and youth who are accessing food from the food bank. Each year it's getting more and more, and just in this first part of the year, as of May, we hit 80% of the number of youth who accessed the food bank all through the year last year.
Wow, that's a terrible number.
It is. It's quite sobering, really. And the thought of children not having the most basic nutritional needs met, you know, it doesn't just impact, you know, someone being hungry today, like it impacts your family life. Parents are stressed. Ultimately, we'd love not to be in existence, to be honest. I look forward to the day that food banks are no longer needed. So this is where volunteers sort all of the food that comes in. As you can see, there's not a lot to sort. Typically, these bins would be overflowing with food.
And they're mostly empty.
Yeah, they're mostly empty right now. It's not that people aren't donating. They are donating less. However, the need is so great. As soon as we get food in, it's out.
Do you worry about the day where you might not be able to feed everybody that needs it?
I do sometimes lay awake and think about that. But I'm very optimistic. We do live in an abundant community, and in our community, our neighbors have always come through for us, and our neighbors have a genuine care for people who are vulnerable in our community. So while I worry that someday, you know, with a lot of job losses, people may not be able to donate, that could happen, but I try to stay in the abundance thinking, because otherwise, like, this job is hard enough. So I have to try to be realistic, but also positive.
But what would you want policymakers to know about the need in this community?
When your rent is taking 80 or 90% of your income, that isn't a budgeting problem. That isn't a not spending correctly problem. We need deeply affordable housing in our community. We need people to be able to have an adequate income so that they can pay rent and buy food, because I don't really believe that people want to come to a food bank for charitable food. They do that when they have no other choice.
Why is it hard to ask for help?
You almost in some ways feel that you're being degraded. Not because somebody's saying anything in particular, but you just think the worst of yourself, I think, when you have to ask.
That you failed.
Yeah, you failed. You didn't save enough money. You didn't do things right, you know. It's tough.
But why is it important for you to talk about it?
Because I think there's a stigma about people that use a food bank. Like, we're stupid, or we're poor, and we don't have any, you know, like, we're not very classy. And I want people to know that that's not true. It's not always the person's fault that they're in the position that they're in. So, you know, let's not try and put the blame on the person.
Some understanding.
Understanding and kindness and love.
As the cost of living rises, people living in cities are especially feeling the crunch. But for those not able or not wanting to use a food bank, there might be another solution. JN spoke with Chef Jagger Sean Gordon, who has started a Pay What You Can grocery store in Toronto, diverting food from landfills to those who need it the most.
Chef, thank you so much for having us here at Feed It Forward. What was the push or the drive?
I wanted to be able to give people the ability to shop with dignity, giving them the opportunity also to afford something a little healthier for their stomachs and their families. And if they can't afford it, it's free. So we started the Pay What You Can system. So when you walk in here, you take a basket, or two or three, and you go to any part of this grocery store, from our produce, from our proteins, from our prepared foods, and it gives people the adventure to go and see things that normally that wouldn't sell, because here on our shelves, we have what's called the best before date. Now, I'm a hooligan. I like to rattle the cages around world and rattle them, and just hold people socially responsible by saying, why are we throwing this away? It's perfectly good.
Right.
And that gives me the ability to repurpose, reuse, and recycle all my products. For what we don't use, we always have bins outside of our store all day and all night where the community can utilize and put food out or receive food. Lots of chicken. Someone's gonna have chicken tonight.
Very nice.
$29. 6 chicken breasts for $29. People can't afford that. What I find disturbing is how the food banks lineups are getting larger and larger.
If you had all the power to change food insecurity, make it go away, where do the solutions lie?
I would start with policy. I would start looking at the policies that are not in place to allow people to have access to healthier food, but also make it a mandate that where all food that's still edible has to be donated here in Canada, no matter what. And then have it regulated by educating those about the best before dates. Suggested dates are better. Teach that food doesn't need to go to waste. And that's for the big giants, and especially our government. Because our government they're not hungry. They see hunger, they need to feel it. As a child, I would go into corner stores in Outremont, Montreal, and there was this one Greek place that always had the Greek olives. And they would always give me like a little cup because my mother could never afford it or was never actually to buy it for me. And it just made me feel good to go to that store on my weekends. So here at this grocery store, kids can come in at any time with the parents, and I go, what can they have? Like, what don't they have? Like, what are they allowed to have? Or can I give them this? And when they say, oh sure, whatever, and then we just come up with like a crayon box or the best cookies or the best chocolate in the world, and just give them the smile on the face. And that's what brings me back to my old childhood. We're going, that's what makes me happy. Sorry. That's what makes me really happy when I can see kids and family get what they need, especially if it's free, right? Especially if it's free, because food, everyone should have access to great food. There should be no limitations here in Toronto, here in Ontario, Canada. Food is not a privilege, it's a right.
But in Canada, food is still big business. 3 major retailers, Loblaw, Metro, and Sobeys, control over half of the grocery market, collectively reporting billions in profit each year. So, when Canadians started to see grocery prices rising, anger and frustration quickly followed. One of those Canadians is Emily Johnson, who started Loblaws is Out of Control, a group or subreddit on social media site Reddit.
People feel like they have a voice here. I've received dozens of messages from folks talking about how being a part of this group has made their mental health improve and that they feel less alone in their struggles. So when we kind of built that sub out, it was just that fun space. It was a fairly small community, only about 2,000 members. And in January, when Loblaw announced that they were reducing their discounts on expiring goods from 50% down to 30%, we saw thousands upon thousands of members flock to our sub to voice anger and frustration with Loblaw over choosing to do something like this and not really understanding the impact it had on various members of the community, including the folks on, fixed incomes like disability, pensions, EI, and so on. So we saw almost 16,000 members join almost overnight. It's not just this tiny little community that wants to have a good time together. There's a lot of people who share this anger and this frustration and want to do more.
The grocery stores are gone crazy now.
Produce primarily has really gone up. Some dairy products have gone up.
It's hard. So we're paying rent, we're paying power, electricity, car bills. It's almost impossible to afford good food on top of that.
Do you think it's unfair to target Loblaws?
So we did host a series of polls in our community asking them who we wanted to boycott, how long we wanted to boycott, and when we wanted to boycott. And the resounding answer was Loblaw for 1 month during May. There are a lot of different reasons why folks want to target Loblaw specifically. They hold the largest market share out of all of the big 5 grocers. They have a store within 10 kilometers of 90% of the population, and they operate in a lot of spaces which are food deserts. So Loblaw or one of their affiliates are going to be the only store available to people. And there's so many different areas where we don't have control. We don't have control over rent. We don't have control over gas or interest rates or, airline prices and so on. But we do feel that we have some sort of control over where we spend our money on our groceries. And regardless of whether you're living in a mansion or a condo, you're renting, you're in an encampment, you still eat and you still need to eat. And I think food is a really unifying factor for a lot of people.
It's hard to budget,
We are stuck with it. I don't see any solution.
With the prices, it's just, unfortunately, I can see a lot of people going hungry.
You had a meeting with Loblaw CEO, Per Bank. Can you share some of the things that you talked about?
So we talked about, folks' concerns with, food security, rising prices. We talked about dividends. We can't afford food, and you are being paid $22 million. So where is the disconnect here?
What do you hope that the boycott accomplishes?
Really, it's just shining a light on food insecurity in Canada. And calling upon the powers that be to make these changes necessary.
What do you hope that can happen in the immediate to help people be able to afford food?
What we really need, I think, is more competition and healthier competition. I'd love to be able to see, No Frills right next to a Metro, right next to a Sobeys, so that they're actually actively competing with each other. And there's incentive for them to keep those prices as low as possible so that people will go to their business. And, we have such weak antitrust laws in Canada. We see, the market getting destroyed really by this. There's no competition anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see people go hungry. I just want a better world, a better Canada for all of us.
In a statement, Loblaw says that they, quote, continue to do what they can to combat inflation at their stores, and that, quote, grocers like Loblaw have more work to do to rebuild the trust they have enjoyed for more than 100 years, and they remain highly focused on doing so and delivering value. While the supermarkets may hold the power now, could a high-tech farming solution be the future of how to feed more for less? We traveled to Guelph to unearth why Goodleaf Farm CEO Barry Murchie thinks it's time for food to grow up.
When I came in contact with this technology of vertical farming, I realized that this was a glimpse at what the future is going to be from an ag tech perspective. It's like an intersection between technology and agriculture.
What is vertical farming?
So vertical farming is sort of intuitive. we're not just growing on the ground level, we're going up. So we go up 9, 10 levels high. So the intensity in which we are generating food in a finite footprint is enormously powerful, because we're getting up to 53 times the output on a footprint of land that we have here versus open field farming.
We're in Guelph. Why do you think that Ontarians should care about vertical farming?
Well, I wouldn't say Ontarians, I would say why should Canadians care? 80 to 85% of leafy greens in Canada come from California and Arizona. So we are almost entirely dependent on imports. And those imports are coming from thousands of kilometers away.
As well as savings on transportation costs for customers, local vertical farms also guarantee a reliable supply of crops year-round.
What we're harvesting today in our farm can be on your dinner table tomorrow night. And so our ability to grow these things in Canada, to do it locally, and to make these things available to every corner of the country is extremely important. One of the substrates that we grow in is a proprietary mix of various ingredients. And so we bring those in bales that then comes down, fills the trays, and whatever doesn't go into a tray gets recycled and gets brought back up. So we fill the trays here, and then it pushes down the seeding line. You've got precision seeding, and then comes along, and then it flows down, and then we actually hit it with a water shower over here.
Oh, that is cool.
And that creates the moisture and the dampness to facilitate the germination. In our farms, in our baby crops, we can do almost 20 crops, or in some cases more than 20 crops a year. In our micros, we can do over 40 crops a year. And so we go from seed to package for microgreens in 8 days, and we go from seed to package on baby greens in 18 days.
What are microgreens?
So think of microgreens as really an infant or an adolescent from a plant perspective. It's a smaller leafy green, but it's got up to 40 times the nutrient density, an explosive flavor, and it's because we harvest it early. And so this is where the automation phase starts. The bench gets pushed into the germination room. It then sits in that location for a predetermined amount of time. And then it comes out the other side when the germination is started. It comes out, and then from there it's going to be pushed over into our grow room.
That's so cool.
Within our grow room, it gets the optimal light recipe, the optimal temperature, humidity, CO2 levels. We're giving the plant just enough water and just enough nutrients, and then it drains away. And so all of that happens within the grow room, and then from there we take it to harvest, and then harvesting again is all automated, and then it gets put into packages, labeled, and then out to our customers.
There's been a lot of conversations of people using food banks because food prices have gone up.
Yes.
And we also hear stories of people living in areas, maybe in the north, where food might be flown in and the prices there are astronomical.
Right.
Where do you see vertical farming, like what you do here at Goodleaf, being able to help those different communities throughout Canada and throughout the province of Ontario?
Yeah. So our ability to figure out more efficient and economical ways to build the farms, which takes an ecosystem as far as our vendors, our suppliers, the automation, our way of operating the farm. How do we increase the yield? How do we reduce the cycle time? How do we make sure that we continue to refine the quality and the nutrient aspects of the plants? All of those areas will just continue to get better, and as a result, our costs will come down, and what we're doing at a sort of a large scale can be brought into a small community, and a few racks creates the opportunity for them to have really to take control and to do vertical farming on a small regional level And so think of it as the ability to have a garden 365 days a year where you just go out and you pick it and it tastes fresh from your garden. And I would expect in not too long it will become the dominant way of growing certain crops.
It's clear that the rising costs of food have really left Canadians struggling. Across this country, throughout this province, paychecks don't go as far as they used to. But from innovative tech to new business models, hope remains on the horizon.
Let us know what solutions you may have for food affordability and continue the conversation here and online, and we'll see you next time.